Belina mai e na haumana, o wau o Mary Tuti Baker, a he kumu au no keia papa. He Hawaii au mai keone o Waimanalo mai au. Greetings, students. I'm Professor Mary Tuti Baker, a Hawaiian national and your instructor for Indigenous political thought. I grew up on the shores of Waimanalo Bay on the island of Oahu, and the Pacific Ocean is my water. As you can see in the virtual background behind me, Waimanalo Bay, where I grew up. I'm speaking to you now from the shores of the Sailor Sea, in the homelands of the Lummi and Nooksack peoples. In this video, I'm going to introduce myself and to give you a brief tour of the course. My mother's mother, Lucy Kahikina, was born in the Kohala Mountains on Hawaii Island. My mother's father, Edwin Puaholani, was born in a fishing village in Anahola, Kauai. They were both born in an independent nation. When they were babies, an oligarchy of Euro-American businessmen overthrew the lawful native government and eventually gave the islands to the United States. As young adults, my grandparents moved to Honolulu, the urban center of the territory, where they met and married. My grandmother taught school, and my grandfather parlayed his skill as an accountant and money manager into a career in politics. He worked with both the descendants of plantation owners, who controlled Hawaii during the territorial years, and the descendants of plantation workers, who gained political control when Hawaii became a state. Successfully navigating settler society did not extinguish my grandparents' deep connection to place. My grandfather was happiest when in his garden or fishing at the shore, and my grandmother loved to tell stories of her beloved Kohala Mountains. They were active in Hawaiian social groups whose purpose was to perpetuate Hawaiian language and culture. Hawaiian was my grandparents' first language, their language of intimacy. They relished speaking Hawaiian together and with other native speakers, but they never encouraged their grandchildren to communicate with them in their native tongue. In our family, we ate Hawaiian food, sang Hawaiian songs, danced hula. All of these practices captured the culture of our ancestors in a romanticized past. My grandparents assimilated into settler society, indoctrinated to believe wholeheartedly in the principles of private property, individualism, and trading labor for wages. And I took up the study of Indigenous politics out of a desire to understand their trajectory, my family's trajectory, from citizens of the sovereign Hawaiian nation to marginalized and tokenized individuals in a settler colonial state, to my generation and the generations that have followed who are politically engaged Hawaiian nationals working to transform the settler state. I began this video with my family story in order to situate myself in Native Hawaiian politics specifically and Indigenous politics more broadly. I do this because relationships are a vital element of Indigenous political thought. So in this course, we will be constantly asking, how is that person, thing, event, landform, body of water related to other persons, things, events, landforms, bodies of water? I will also ask you to reflect on your own relationship to settler and Indigenous politics. In this course, we examine both resistance and resilience. You're going to interrogate colonialism and the settler state through the lens of Indigenous mobilization, fighting against state oppression. And you're going to build your understanding of Indigenism by studying the ways that Indigenous communities build resilient political structures outside of the settler state. So that's my introduction to myself and to the course. And I look forward to meeting you all in our first synchronous Zoom meeting on September 24th. And until then, aloha.